Predictions and Prophecies, Chapter 3. The things of your world that you wish to know are not all to be told you, but one thing that is to change in a very dramatic way is your weather. Already these changes have been noted and have started to happen in some parts of the world. It is not drastic yet, but it is soon to become that way. The changes are to mean catastrophe for some countries, yet for others it's to make a difference for the better. Many will see what is happening and will not realise it's anything to do with God's hand, and will put it down to science or natural causes, as man always does. Do they not realise, with God all things are possible, and that this is one of the many ways he is to act to start to make people think about how they live and what it is they do? Floods, famine and pestilence are just some of the things to affect the people of your world when these things occur. Some are to benefit greatly, and those who once starved are now to see improvement in their lives as the world starts to spin on its axis to a point. Those places that were warm are now to be colder, those that were cold to become warmer, and dry countries to become even drier, while some to become wetter, is all set to change. No one person is to be safe from these changes, as their own countries will be affected by the changes to come. This is God's work, to help those who have suffered for so long, and to take from those who have so much, yet never give thanks for all they have. Part of a country that is near to you will disappear at some point, but not yet, and maybe not in your lifetime. But it is not too far away. More of these things to follow, but many more to happen before this, and some of the countries we can tell you that are to be affected by weather changes are France and Holland. Only a small part of France, but much of Holland is to suffer, as floods take hold and get stronger and stronger as time goes on. Many things are to befall people of these countries, but not for some time to come. There is also to be much trial and tribulation in your own country, as things change there also. When they talk of your country, they're meaning mine, and my country is the UK, so this is the one they're talking of. Some of this has begun, and it's only the start of more to follow. Wait to see what is to befall some people whose livelihoods are to be destroyed because of this. Yet more will learn to use what occurs to their own benefit, and again, those who suffer now are to find things improve for them, whilst those who have all they wish for are to see things in their life change drastically in the other way. Things are to turn upside down for many. For too long the world has been filled with people who are filled with greed and who care nothing for others. Their time is now to come, when the ones they laughed at and ridiculed are to see things change, and they now are to be the ones to benefit instead. Everything in your world is to change. The imbalance has to be rectified, and this will be done in ways that will shock many. Those who have been held back will now be pushed forwards, and those who once led will now have to follow. Leaders are to change and be put forward from places least expected. People are now to lead the way where others are to follow, and they will be the ones least likely or expected for this to be. Those who were once great and almighty in their own eyes are now to find they are the lowly, and the ones who once ridiculed and put down are to take their place and be looked up to. Great palaces are to be destroyed, and others will take their place, filled with people again least expected. This is not for your lifetime, but will be in time to come. Great leaders will fall, and others will take their places that are to serve God and show the country that they too are to follow him. For too long now there have been leaders who do not follow God's laws, and who do not allow others to do so either. There are to be some who will try to prevent this from happening, as holy wars are fought, But the ones who wish to stop God's people will be thwarted, as they have had their rule, and now it is set to change. God is now to take back the world he created, and is to destroy all that is bad within it. Good will have to perish and suffer with the bad as these things happen, but it cannot be prevented, and good will be the end result as peace is once again restored in your world. All that is bad must go, and only that which is good can survive. Eventually, in time, things will start to change again, as people of your world have short memories. As the memories fade of all that has gone in the past, badness will once again start to creep into the human race that lives there. Animals, too, are to suffer great losses, and these cannot be prevented. Some will become extinct because of what's to befall certain people and places, but this cannot be helped. In time, all things have to change, and your world has already seen many of these changes in years gone by. Now is the time for another of those big changes to come, and it is not long until it is upon you all. Some will not live to see it happen, but others of your world now will. Already some of this has started in a small way, and certain disasters have happened. As we warned before, they are coming closer and closer together as man continues to ignore the warnings they are given about the way they live. These are to become even greater in magnitude as time goes on, until mankind starts to realise it's because of the way he lives that this has to happen. Great fires too are to ravage parts of the world, and already those too have started and been bigger than seen before. But now they are to happen in parts of the world where it's least expected also. Water is to be the first of the things to destroy much. Then there is pestilence, and then there is to be fire. Great fires, bigger than one would expect to see. Whole towns and cities are to be ravaged by fires, as all is set to be destroyed. It is as in Bible times before when these things happened, and now it's to be seen again. God's might is great, and he has been angered, and now he is to show the world what they're to suffer for their behaviour and lack of care with the world he gave them. You all have everything you need, and yet you ask for more and more as greed swamps you all. Yet there are those in the same world who have nothing, and they thank God for the little they do have. For those who have used others for greed and in the wrong ways, their punishment is to be great, as is their suffering. The ones who have done all of this in God's holy name and used it for their own purposes and greed, for them, theirs is to be the greatest suffering of all within these matters. Many of your world use God's name to pretend they are of goodness in order to entice others into their fold and to make themselves elevated in the eyes of others. Their fall from grace is to be great and to be seen by many, as they are to be humiliated in ways they least expect. For those who have done God's work and brought others to him, their rewards now to come to them in ways they too least expect. Many have used God's name in the wrong ways to fool people into believing they were working for him when they did not have him in their hearts. This is now to be stopped, as it is out of control. Wait and see what is to befall them, and for those of you who persist in these wicked ways, you are to be punished in ways you cannot even imagine exist.